evening and welcome to Le Creux d'Etat's 2018 parade. We are here at Gallagher Hall on historic St. Charles Avenue. I'm your host, Karen Boudry, along with Errol Laborde and Carly McCord, our girl on the street. And so far the weather's holding out. We're keeping our fingers crossed. The gods are smiling sort of on us right now. We're hoping that this parade isn't a washout, but even if it rains on this parade, these guys are going to make us laugh, no doubt.
I think there'll be a lot of laughing. You know, things to look for is that this is Mitch Landrieu's last Mardi Gras as mayor. His term ends in May, so I think it may be open season on him, catching up for all the past years. Also, as long as Donald Trump is president, this could be a golden age for satire or maybe an orange age. But so there's a lot out there. There are a lot of targets out there, so it should be fun.
And this crew is known for their razor sharp wit. So what you see tonight, you're not going to see anywhere else in Mardi Gras. So I am so looking forward to it. And Carly is going to be down on the street getting a close-up look at all of this chaos and craziness.
Yeah, good chaos and craziness,
yes,
though, Karen. And you said that what you're going to see at this parade is not what you're going to see at any other parade. And I'm going to try and capture just that for you. I'm going to get on a float and ride and let you feel like you're actually riding in the parade. I'm going to show you some of these incredible throws and unique throws at that.
Yeah, every year they come out with innovative stuff. They were the first to introduce blinky beads back when they debuted in 1998. So they're innovative, they're crazy, they're fun, and this parade is no doubt going to be probably topping all of the other years because they seem to do that every year. They get bigger, they get better, they get crazier. So stay tuned. We're going to thank our sponsors first who make this parade happen, and we'll be right back with the start of the parade in just a moment. A beautiful parade, a beautiful night, but it would not happen without our sponsors.
Bill and Ann Hughes. Bill and Ann Hughes have been the fans of Le Creux d'Etat since its inception. The whole Hughes family wishes all of our revelers a safe and happy Mardi Gras 2018. Minister of Solid Waste and his crew of revolutionaries. Just mentioned like this, and that is all. Frischhertz Electric. Frischhertz Electric began brightening NOLA in 1951 and is now 4 generations strong. As one of the largest electrical contractors in the city, the family-owned and operated team includes both commercial and residential teams who serve the greater New Orleans area and beyond. Over the years, Frischhertz has been trusted to illuminate everything from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome to the Crescent City Connection. But their work doesn't stop there. Big or small, they light it all. And as an authorized Generac dealer, Frischhertz brings dependable generator power to homes and offices throughout the metro area. Don't get left in the dark. Call Frischhertz today at 482-SERV. Find them at www.frischhertz.com or celebrate #Frischhertz Friday with them on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Frischhertz is proud to sponsor Le Creux d'Etat and would like to wish everyone a safe and festive Mardi Gras. Frischhertz, built on family, powered by team, trusted since 1951. Schoenberg keeps you close to those you care about most. Savor life at a Schoenberg community. Life is meant to be lived well, and we make sure that our residents live theirs to the absolute fullest. Our highly trained, passionate staff provides an unsurpassed level of compassionate care, but our stellar resident satisfaction rates are achieved through an amazing quality of life found at a Schoenberg community. Laissez le bateau rouler is the motto, and we make sure that the good times are always rolling at our communities. From exciting social and recreational activities like Mardi Gras balls and crawfish boils to the customized wellness plans and complimentary laundry and housekeeping services offered, we go above and beyond to ensure that our residents are living the good life each and every day. Life is worth celebrating at a Schoenberg community nearest you. Learn more about our beautiful communities in New Orleans, Mandeville, Slidell, Luling, and Houma by visiting SchoenbergCare.com today. And by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, the Spine Institute. The Spine Institute offers comprehensive evaluation and treatment programs for spinal injuries and disorders. Our board-certified and fellowship-trained physicians work directly with patients to develop individualized treatment options and approaches. Through this direct focus, We produce better patient outcomes, minimize risks, and speed recoveries. For more information, please contact our office at 225-924-2424 or visit our website at www.brortho.com.
All right, here it is, the start of Krewe d'Etat 2018. The parade is here, led, as always, by the Budweiser Clydesdales.
We do have a parade to call, and these are the Budweiser Clydesdales.
You know, there were no Clydesdales in the Super Bowl this year in the commercials, and we all missed them, so it's good to see them here. We didn't get to see them in the Super Bowl. Errol can't hear. Somebody help. He can't hear me, so he doesn't know what I'm saying. We're gonna have to edit here.
How long are we going to be here?
Can you hear me now, Errol?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I can't.
That's all right. That's okay.
Can you lower it a little bit? Oh, thank you.
We're just gonna have to edit. We'll start here. All right, and here is the skeleton crew.
This is one of the coolest things. You know, the skeletons were an old tradition in the Treme area, and it became extinct. And the Krewe d'Etat has brought them back, sort of like a modern-day version of the skeletons. It used to be a big thing on Mardi Gras morning. These guys are dressed like skeletons and they walk around, and you hear all kinds of stories about the little kids being scared. But look at these costumes; these are really great. This is a good touch.
And they're different. They've added some different ones each year. And they're handing out the Gazette and some other things. Tell us about the Gazette, Errol. Can you not hear me, Errol?
Yeah, I got you. I'm sorry.
Can you tell us about the Gazette? And we'll pick that up. We can edit.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Just go ahead. I'm not sure who these people are here.
Used to be the skeletons.
Ladies and gentlemen, my alma mater, Brother Martin High School, color guard.
All right, this is the Brother Martin High School Color Guard. Brother Martin has been a part of this parade since its inception in 1996.
Yeah, I think they've always been here. They've been very close to the crew and to the crew hierarchy, and it's a great tradition in New Orleans. Brother Martin's a really good band.
And we're now seeing the riding lieutenants, which are dispersed throughout the parade. You won't just see a huge bunch of them in the beginning, but they're dispersed throughout.
I think lieutenants are one of the great sights in Carnival. You know, you talk to the guys who ride as lieutenants, and usually they've ridden in floats at some point in their career, and they say when you ride as a lieutenant, it's a totally different experience because you're down there with the people, and the people come and talk to you, and it's more of a personal level, and they really enjoy it. They say it's a whole lot different from being on a float.
Absolutely. And this is the Crusader Band now.
This is part of Brother Martin. It goes back, Brother Martin is emerged way back when between the old St. Aloysius High, which was called the Crusaders, and Quaresma, and became Brother Martin, and it's really a good band.
And they're scheduled to parade in 2 more parades this weekend. And there he is, the captain of Krewe d'Etat.
Now, in Carnival crew hierarchy, the captain is the boss. It's not the king. The king's the king for one night. It's the captain is there day after day who really runs the organization. And this captain has been there for several years, done a really good job in organizing it. He's seen this organization really grow.
All right, now Carly is down on the street, and she is going to talk to the captain. There she is. She's getting him.
Hey, Captain, it's good to see you. I know that everyone was so worried about the weather. How excited are you all that you were able to dodge it?
It's great. We had a little bit of a scare at the beginning, about a 5-minute shower, but since then it's been awesome.
Talk about the crowd that came out here on Mardi Gras weekend for Krewe d'Etat.
They've been huge. They've been huge all over the place. So,
Have fun. We appreciate your time.
thank y'all.
All right, there he is.
That's a good idea, the example of the kind of stress captains have to deal with, because all week long, especially this past week, they've been worried about their parades being rained out, and of course a lot of cost questions involved with that, and so they've been living this parade every day for the last few weeks.
Keeping their fingers crossed, hoping they don't have to push it up, push it back, or even
Push it
cancel outright. Right. More riding lieutenants, and there is the dictator. The dictator's head, I should say, not the dictator himself.
Yeah,
He's coming up.
You need to know that the Krewe d'Etat does not have a king. It's called the dictator, and according to what they say is that if anyone reveals the question of the identity of the dictator, they're in big trouble. They say they will get punishment unrivaled by any punishment ever given. So it's a pretty serious matter. And the dictator as always goes by the name of Richard, which of course in some parlance is Dick. So this would be Richard the 22nd.
His identity, as you've mentioned before, is never publicly revealed, and he rules with a femur, not a typical scepter. So they do, they have a lot of fun with this parade, and they do things that are traditional Mardi Gras, but things that are also different and really unique to Krewe d'Etat, and it sets his crew apart in so many ways, and we're going to see that coming up.
And a dictator can do whatever he wants. So if he wants to rule with a scepter, he can do it.
He's got a nice sword there too, so he can get himself some new femurs if he wants to.
It's a great-looking costume. It's one of the great, can't say king's costume, but one of the great monarchical costumes of all the parades.
So as is traditional, he's not a king, but he is the dictator, so he will toast here at Gallier Hall.
And you notice the gargoyles up front with the blinking eyes, and blinking is something that's really a theme to Krewe d'Etat, because they're famous for their blinking throws, which we'll see a good bit of.
Yeah, one of the first to really introduce them to the Mardi Gras crowds, and what a huge hit they are. And they've come out with some bigger blinking throws this year, so we'll see those later, but let's listen in to the toast.
Dictator.
Cheers to the city of New Orleans. I toast my friend the mayor, Mitch Landrieu, our friends, the city council. I also toast the New Orleans Police Department, the most wonderful group of guys you can imagine. The New Orleans Fire Department, New Orleans Department of Streets, all of whom put this parade on. They are the most active group, knowledgeable group of people in the city about what we are doing. Thank you so much for providing us the smooth streets, the clean water, the crime-free streets, and all the wonderful things that the city has provided. Les Krewe d'Etat. And we host you. Thank you so much.
He was saluting the police department, and as powerful as the dictator is, the most powerful force in Mardi Gras is the police.
It's so true.
The most exotic, the most wonderful city on earth. Thank you.
Hail Dictator.
There he is, Richard.
Yes, Katie, you throw it.
And you see the flambeau flambeau torch down at the bottom of the screen. That Krewe d'Etat has a lot of flambeau. What's different though is that they made their own. When they started, they had a guy who went out and figured out how do you make a flambeau. Where do you get the burners from? It's not like people were making flambeau burners anymore. And so they searched all around. And so they have, I guess, maybe 40 or so flambeau, but it's all their own. They're all brand new. The ones you see in the other parades are pretty much vintage. It goes back almost to the 1900s. But these are new flambeaux.
And they do have a crew member that it's his job, the keeper of the flame, to make sure these things are working each year, maintained, so that we can come out and enjoy them year after year. And that's a job. That's a tough job.
Oh, you talk to that guy. He's become like a real expert on flambeau, though.
Yeah.
But he had to figure out on his own how to do it. It's not like there was a textbook.
There's pieces they've imported from India even. Yeah. So moving along now to Catholic High School, the Bruin Marching Band. They're back again. This is their 9th time marching with d'Etat. This college prep school has been recognized 5 times by the U.S. Department of Education as a National Blue Ribbon School. The band director is Mark Messina, and again, they are back from Baton Rouge.
And it's good to see a regional band from around the state in a parade like this. You know, a real challenge that the crews are having are trying to get bands. It's not that the bands don't want to play, but there's just so many parades now and so much of a demand for them. And of course, you want to, ideally they prefer to play on the weekend than a weekday. And so it's good seeing some regular bands like this one.
Flambeau, and a lot of these flambeau guys are family members that have been doing this with Coup d'Etat for years and years, father and son, kind of passed down the torch, so to speak.
Yeah, but notice that some of the flambeau have taken to wearing like this silver mask. I don't think it has any significance other than probably a fad, but maybe
I just think it's cool.
Maybe it also protects the face too from the flames.
Perhaps so.
Now, especially in this crowd.
Well, coming up, we have the Dictator's Banana Wagon, and this is a feature float every year in Coup d'Etat. And I know Carly's down there trying to get on this float. We'll see if she gets on and can.
And it's being drawn by mules. I think mules is a great.
Is awesome.
It's a great white mules. You don't see white mules very much. There are a couple parades that have their king's float pushed by mules. This is very rare to see a specialty float that's pulled by them. You know, in the early days of Carnival, before you had mechanized tractors, that mules were a very common source of power.
All right, Carly is there. You can see her throwing beads or taunting the crowd. Carly, what's up?
You guys, this is so much fun. I'm up here on the banana boat float, and they are making me throw these incredible beads. Not making me, I'm so willing.
She's stealing them.
Do you mind if we take a selfie?
Oh.
All right.
There you go. That's the new norm, the selfies.
All the way from Rochester, New York.
All right, thanks, Carly.
I'm surprised these guys aren't in shorts right now. Holy
All right, this is the primetime band.
They were well prepared.
And they are so colorful.
This kind of band, I really like this because this is like in the tradition of the mummers.
Yes.
Mummers started out of Pennsylvania with these kind of costumes and colorful costumes. And I think a lot of the roots of Carnival trace back to the mummers. And so when you see a group like this, you're really seeing part of Carnival history. I love seeing a group like this. There should be more of them.
And they're good, too.
Yeah. And of course,
Keep
they're playing.
listening.
Of course, they're playing the Saints too.
Here
So that
come a
helps.
few more of the riding lieutenants.
As we look at more of the riding lieutenants. But those little bands like that, colorful and fun, are what sets Coup d'Etat apart.
It's the
Because you
little
won't
bands-
see a band like that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
every parade.
Yeah, little bands like that just add a lot. Jazz bands, little
Followed by
combos
the
are really good.
Blancos. And folks, this is only float number 2.
All right, Flambeau performing there for us. Oops, the flames just went out.
Doing the classic
That's
flambeau,
what happens when you.
doing the classic
when you
flambeau
spin.
twirl.
And look at this. You see that smoke coming out. You see the gold tooth. This is the title float, which reveals the theme every year.
We're going through what's been happening
Yeah,
in New York.
I guess we need to say this at some point that the dictator is called for short the Dick. Okay? And so the title is about the Dictator's Museum. And so this would be the Dickma, which is the dictator's.
Dickma.
Yeah, the Dickma, which is the Dictator's Museum of Art. So an art theme tonight.
So, yeah, they're presenting their view of the world's folly from the White House, of course, to North Korea using the world of art. And what a palette the crew had to work with this year. They're known for their biting satire, and we know that this parade is not going to disappoint. But before we get to that, here is the Tulane Marching Band.
I love to see this too, because Tulane is not one of these universities like LSU with a big band, with a lot of scholarships. It's a small band, a lot of, I think, the students and some faculty. They don't do a lot of things, but to see them is really good. To see them have a full-fledged marching band, it's a good feeling. And this is the kind of place where they should be, in an uptown parade.
They're known for their flute section. Believe it or not, they were formed in 1920 actually as a military band under the direction of Dr. Frederick Hard. So there's some fun facts for you tonight.
But they weren't a parade band. They weren't a band that you see much of, or a football halftime show band. I wanted to mention with the banana wagon, we went by kind of quickly, but that goes back to a famous bar, Bruno's Bar on Maple Street, where they had a banana wagon every year, and people would go and ride on it. And it was a big honor to be the queen of Bruno's, and their group was called the Babbling Baskets of Bruno. And so that banana wagon was brought back as a tribute to the Bruno's Bar.
It was really just like a neighborhood little group that got together, just having some fun.
Yeah.
Go Green Wave. The fact that they don't have rain slickers on or jackets is a testament to how nice this night has really turned out to be. Not too cold, not hot for sure, but turning out to be a beautiful night for the Coup d'Etat parade.
But a few days ago, it didn't look too good. Possibilities.
No.
This is
some of us were wet messes on this route the other night.
That's right, she's well, which will be 3 in a week and a half.
And she loves to dance.
Well, while we're watching Tulane here as they're stopped, I'll give you a little background on the crew. This is an all-male crew, about 430 riders and 23 floats this year. They begin at Magazine in Jefferson and then pick up on St. Charles and Napoleon. They are now calling that the new traditional St. Charles route.
What happened this year, there's a change in routes, in that for all parades, except for Zulu, that when the parades get to Canal Street, they take a right now. There's no longer that loop that used to go down, usually like the Elks Place or somewhere around there. So it's a right. And so what that's done is it's shortened the parade route once it got to Canal Street. So a few parades expanded their parade route at the beginning to make up for the lost route at the end.
Right, and they're saying that's a safety issue, and we totally understand that. Now, Carly is down. I believe she's got some parade goers to talk to. Carly.
That's right, Karen. I got Michael and Allison. They're from all the way in Sacramento, California, here for their first Mardi Gras. First of all, tell me how the experience has been so far for you guys.
Oh, it's incredible. Great people, great fun.
And you said that on your way down here, you were a little worried about the crowds, but how have the crowds been? Have you been able to bear them?
They've been absolutely great, super friendly. Like, nobody's been rude. Everybody's been super friendly.
Well, that is how we are here in the South, so we're happy to have you all. What's been the best entree, the best food that you've had since you've been in New Orleans?
Oh, shrimp and grits, can't beat it.
You definitely cannot beat it. What do you think of this parade so far, Coup d'Etat?
Oh, it's been amazing, great, just, tons of fun, amazing tosses. It's been incredible.
Is this everything that you expected Mardi Gras to be?
More than that, absolutely. You can't even read, all this stuff and get what this is. This is so amazing.
Well, we're glad that you guys were able to travel down. Have safe travels home and enjoy the rest of your time while we're here. Karen, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Carly. And you can tell he's an out-of-towner when he says tosses instead of throws. I love that.
They're
He'll get it.
They're talking about how amazing, what they've seen, and it's only Friday.
Yeah.
Imagine by Wednesday morning if you could interview what they've done.
Okay. Sometimes, obviously since Errol can't hear, I understand what you guys are doing. We'll wait until he finishes and then I'll jump in. I think Will spoke a couple times and I wasn't able to hear what he was saying, so I can only hear you. So, yeah, but what's happened is they were doing live shots in front of me and they were loud, and hopefully that will not, so I didn't, I hope you guys can deal with that beginning. I'm so sorry, but it was like,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Okay.
Am I supposed to be hearing from the...
Right. No. Exactly, because it'll get, and we know how it'll be later on. And okay, cool. Okay. It should be the High Priest Candy Wagon, right? I think so. Okay. Okay. Now, she's not going to get on that one because she was just on the other one, right? Done with floats. Okay, because I have her. All right, I'm going to make sure. She's doing a good job. She's good. Are you doing okay hearing me so you can hear where we're going? He is here now. I think in the beginning while the box wasn't turned on, so we should, that was the main thing.
Yeah, I got you.
If you need to, if you feel like, jump in.
Oh yeah, I don't mind. Go.
Okay.
When the parades were moving so well, Hermes moved perfectly.
Yeah, they were great. This was... I'm wondering if they're like stuck. I mean, Hermes is trying to unload, and that's what... Well, no, this seems... I don't know what the holdup is.
The dictator looked like the guy, the Flambeau guy. That's why I started talking about it.
Oh, yeah. No, but that was perfect because it went on for so long. They needed to, move it along to something, yeah.
Here they go.
Yeah, just just say go or 3, 2, 1 or something when you're ready. Thanks.
we kind of want to get this parade rolling. We got to be at work for about 5 a.m.
You have to be at work at 5 a.m. because you have to do it with
There you go.
All right, love that green wave band and that retro VW bus.
Playing the two-lane fight song.
All right. You know, Coup d'etat was founded back in 1996 by a bunch of guys that got together. I think they had a few drinks and they said, we want to sort of take back Mardi Gras. They didn't like some of the things that were happening, the commercialization and whatever, and they just said, we're going to seize it. And they came up with the name Coup d'etat.
Which was a brilliant name. I
Yeah.
remember the first time I heard that. I said, these guys are good. This is a great name.
And this is the High Priest Candy Wagon. Now, even though the crew was established in '96, they brought this out just a few years back, and this is wonderful, a throwback to the old Roman candy wagons.
It goes
that
back to the
used
old
see
candy,
in Uptown.
Roman candy wagon, which is still around. You can be riding around someday and see it parked in some corner.
Kind of rare,
So it's
though.
tradition. And
So they
sometimes-
actually throw taffy off that float, so it's kind of a cool thing
Yeah.
to get a piece of taffy
it's,
off of there.
it's stick taffy, it's strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla. It's really good.
I can't believe you know that.
A guy named Koppelman runs it now, who's a descendant of the founder.
All right, this is the Brother Martin High School Navy Junior ROTC. And the drill team helps students achieve military precision and coordination in marching and rifle maneuvers. And they have two teams that compete at area meets in armed and unarmed drill. And they're also invited to participate in a variety of civic and patriotic activities. Of course, parades like this one. And who do we have here?
He would be the symbol of coup d'etat, the skeleton figure. We see him throughout the parade.
The high priest skeleton figure, right? They called him the skeleton jester, but I really believe he's the high priest walk-in head, which, as you said, is
Somehow
the
the term-
spiritual leader of this
Yeah.
crew.
Somehow I think the term skeleton and jester don't go together. So anyway, no, he'd be more like the high priest. So.
And they're more of our riding lieutenants, getting that real bird's eye view and that 360 view from that horseback.
The views out here, Gallier Hall is such a beautiful place to watch a parade. The building's been going through a lot of restoration. It looks really great. We're just seeing the exterior right now. But, I call St. Charles Avenue Carnival's Broadway. Look how beautiful the area is. What a sight this is.
And I love the flambeau. Well, they have some of those modern-looking masks, but he's wearing the old-time mask that looks wonderful. He is having a good time. All right, and here is the High Priest float. And he is, as we mentioned, the spiritual leader of the crew. He's known to, on this night, whip those along the parade route into a frenzy as he casts a spell on the crowds on Fat Friday, as they call it.
And whereas the king is a one-time position, the person who's high priest has been high priest for several years, so he's obviously has some sort of stroke in the organization.
Yeah. He's got his minions there.
Yeah.
It's just, look at those flames, how they did that, and just the beautiful artistry on this float. This is royal artists, just beautiful.
And you see the logo of Le Coup d'etat, lives to ride, ride to live.
Ride to live, that's it.
Can't argue with that. Now this is what I like. We're talking about the small bands. There should be more of these in Mardi Gras. The brass bands. This goes back to like the sounds of New Orleans.
But what's really cool about the Sunshine Brass Band is they will play Kanye West, Weezer. They will take that brass sound and do more contemporary music and songs with it, which is really cool.
Well, you could tell it's an entire new generation of musicians It wasn't an encouraging sign to see that. We're talking about the dictator. Different crews have different methods by which they select their monarch or their ruler. Some is done by a committee, some is done by the captain. And if they understand that on coup d'etat, that the dictator is chosen by the captain. The captain calls him up and says, I want you to be a dictator. And then a few days before the parade, they announce his identity to the crew. But for the most time, it's really just between the captain and the dictator.
You know, this crew is full of characters like the Minister of Misinformation, the Keeper of the Bones, the High Priest, as we saw, the Kingfish, and the Special Man. So there are a lot of characters in this parade. You may not see them all.
Okay, this is interesting right here because, you know, the theme is about museums, and so you can see a spoof of various paintings, this being the birth of Venus. Our new mayor-elect, this is going to be her first blush at getting used to being spoofed in carnival organizations.
Yeah, she better get used to it. She better have some thick skin because you're right. This is the first of many. And here she is depicted as Venus, being dubbed New Orleans' own Venus, with the city credit card scandal featured strategically there, holding those cards across her. And later you'll see Jeff Landry grandstanding with his investigation. There he is, hoping for indictments.
Yeah, you see him in the back with the indictments right there. So it's just.
And unlike a lot of crews, you really do want to read and see all the writing on here.
There's humor.
As we get up, you'll see all these little bubbles with comments from all the characters, and it's hilarious. And I know some people get caught up in the throws, but it's like, hey, sit back and look at the float carefully because you're going to laugh your you-know-what off.
Yeah. Here's an example. There's a lot of subtle jokes throughout the floats. Some probably best left to individual interpretation. Anyway,
Now, Mayor-elect Cantrell may not agree, but these guys do a really good job in the likenesses. You know, they make them caricatures, but you can see from a distance, like, oh, that's the caricature of LaToya Cantrell. You know, no question.
Now, the real LaToya Cantrell rode in Muses. She rode in the shoe.
Yeah, she was the Grand Marshal.
Was an honor position.
Yep.
So
so
we've seen her.
She was up on a pedestal, and now she's.
We've seen her real and caricatured, and brace yourself for 4 more years.
Exactly. And this again is only the beginning. She's one of many to be spoofed and skewered this evening, because they do have a wide palette to work with. This theme is great because they have lots of works of art and statues and paintings that they can play off of tonight, and we'll see it. There's the would-be mayoral candidate Frank Scurlock.
Yeah.
Got LaToya's cookbook. Oh my goodness.
They're playing off the issue about some of the credit cards that she has as a council member. Some people question the practice. I don't think anything was found illegal about it, but there was a lot of investigation on it.
All right, now St. Mary's Dominican High School Band. One of the largest girls' Catholic schools in the city of New Orleans, and they have been educating young girls in the city now for 157 years. That is amazing.
Well, the Dominicans have long had a presence in New Orleans. That's a very important school, too. Special praise goes to the chaperones, the parents and the teachers, like these guys right here, who walk alongside and
pulling the wagon,
watch
that
the crowd.
heavy wagon. That's a job. Yeah. That's a chore.
Okay, Karen, I'm gonna let you talk about this vote.
The curators. Oh, this This is priceless because, you know, since the museum is part of Carnival, who better to serve as curators than our own Carnival All-Stars and historians? And that includes Mardi Gras man Henry Schindler on the front there. And for those who might not know, there you are. And he's saying, why a dick instead of a king? Well, you explained that earlier. There's Errol, your wife, your lovely wife, and Mr. Mardi Gras, Blaine Kern. And how does it feel to be depicted? I mean, it's like you've made it, Errol. There you are. You've made it when you're skewered on coup d'etat.
Well, everybody else on that float, I think, looks good. Okay. Me, I don't know.
They had too much fun with you. They did.
Yeah, I guess it's an honor. Yeah, so.
You guess it's an honor.
Yeah.
You made it, Errol. You made it because you're on that float. All right, the St. Charles Streetcar Band. And some more riding lieutenants with all their colorful costumes. You notice you don't see the same color all the time. They're diverse. Just beautiful.
I just noticed on the curator's float, it's always a joke on the back. And I'll get back to that, but let's talk about this one first.
Oh my God, it's not Michelangelo, it's
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, perfect. And there he is depicted as David in all his glory with his fleur-de-lis there. De agony and de ecstasy.
So he's got more clothes on than LaToya Cantrell had in the float.
So they talked about the crew, Michelangelo exerting unparalleled influence on Western art. Well, our own local Michelangelo has exerted unparalleled influence on our local statues. So this is about the big statue controversy
about
last
the whole
year.
monument controversy, and he was pretty man.
And Carly is down. You can hear the screaming crowds now. Carly is down there.
Right, Karen, we would now like to welcome the Citadel Summerall Guard, displaying a great deal of patriotism. We always love to see their love for the United States of America.
And you just got a special salute there, Carly, your own special
I
salute.
did. It was so nice.
This is one of the great marching groups in all of Carnival, not just in this parade, in all of Carnival. Watch this.
The precision and the focus these guys show is just amazing, and they're just crowd pleasers. They're here every year with Tata, and we look forward to seeing them every year. Out of Charleston, South Carolina.
And sometimes there's a maneuver where the guy in the front flings his rifle back to the guy in the... Now, that's something new. I've never seen them break ranks like that to acknowledge a camera. Right?
All right, so instead of the thinker, we have the stinker, and there he is on his throne. We knew the Donald was coming up, and it's a gold, look at the gold throne. Oh my goodness, this is perfect. And so all of these folks in the Trump controversies in the past year making their way to this float tonight.
He is going to be a godsend of satire.
Oh my goodness.
For as long as he's president, and even when he's not president, there's going to still be so much.
And you saw the mine is bigger than yours on the back of that one. There's always that little zinger on the back, which is wonderful. So you don't want to look away when that float gets past you.
No.
You got to look at the back. All right, now here is the Dictators Dancing Dollins. And this is a group that always comes up with a great costume and act. And this year, they are spoofing the Sewage and Water Board.
Yeah, this group is always funny.
So they're the dancing do-nothings, as they say, this year.
Wow, camera's drawing a lot of attention
Oh,
out of
look at it's the water boil. That's great. Oh, making fun of all the rain and the issues we had last year with pumps malfunctioning and people not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So much fodder in the city last year for these guys to make fun of.
Let me tell you, that floods, you're going to see more of that too. In fact, I think right here, this is
Landru crossing Canal Boulevard. This is a spinoff on the Washington crossing the Delaware. Another reference to the rain and the sewage and water board situation while the mayor was off skiing when all this happened.
Right. And then Cedric Grant, who that day talked about, well, maybe it's climate change.
But he's off in his pension boat with his wads of cash. See, and there's the beleaguered sewage and water board folks.
That incident really just had an enormous impact. We are going to...
Now these are the Nowlands nymphs. Now these are wives, girlfriends, and significant others of the crew. And they are also doing their sewage and water board spoof. You see the sewage and water board logo on their heads, so this is great.
And these people spend a lot of time practicing. They get together, weeks before, they go through their routines.
And this, it is an all-male crew, so this is a way for some women to be a part of this parade tonight. And they're having a great time.
I love street-level participation in Carnival like that because it's really something for the crowd to see. I mean, look how close this is, people on the side. It's not just staring up at the float, seeing something close. So I think it's really good for Carnival.
They get the crowd involved too. They really do. All right, this is Float 9, Roman Decadence. Can you guess who that is on the front?
Yeah, that would be the Hollywood director.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. And,
it's like, please put that coat back on him.
The next float is called Roman Decadence too, and they're very proud. They claim that this is the first time that two floats in a row have the same theme.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
If they're right, we're seeing history. Two Roman Decadence floats. And I think one reason there's two is because there were so many people.
And they just kept coming out of the woodwork. Oh my God, it never ended.
There were so many people that were implicated and brought into this, and somebody said, we really need to do this in two floats.
So basically this is an allegory for the excess and corruption in the world and especially Hollywood here. And there's Harvey. He's on the front of the float and he's on this side of the float because he was a big part.
And, in terms of float design, all of this was fairly recent to be able to do these floats on.
This is true.
It's not like ancient history. This happened like a few months ago as these things unfolded.
Woody Allen in this. All right, De La Salle High School Band, the Cavalier Band. Co-ed Catholic High School, situated in uptown New Orleans, right here on St. Charles Avenue.
Well, they're very loyal to the uptown bands. See a lot of the uptown schools. Yeah, De La Salle started as an all-male school and went co-ed.
They're seeing the next float come up. They got those hands up, ready to go. And that's our even more Roman decadence coming up. And thank goodness they're not throwing decadent throws. They're throwing good stuff. Lots of blinky beads and light up balls and light up femurs. This crew does a really, really good job with their throws. Coming up with unique and new ideas every year.
We mentioned earlier that they pioneered the blinky throws. And if you look around at the crowd, like across the way at Gallery Hall, you just see, it's like strobe lights. It's like being at a disco. There's so many blinking lights that people are wearing. Yellow saddle in its classic maroon and white colors.
It's a song we haven't heard in a while, but it's always good to hear at Carnival.
It's probably been the single most played song in Carnival for the last 10 years or so. It's good, you know. It's got some people call it the hay song. Some call it rock and roll too. I think it started out of San Diego, but it's become a really popular march. You hear the crowd react. The crowd reacts. It draws the crowd into it.
But I just hadn't heard it in a while, so it's good. It's good to hear it tonight. And there's more flambeau. And the flambeau groupie there.
Who was reacting to the hay also.
All right, and coming up, not sure. This is even more Roman decadence float we were talking about. So this is Matt Lauer. Boy, how the mighty have fallen. Look at how they've got him depicted. Boy, he doesn't look so good.
And ironically, tonight, as we're sitting here, is the opening night of the Olympics. And that would have been one of his gigs. He was always the guy.
Oh yeah, that's so true. And now there's Hoda.
Yeah. So you see even more people that were running by this.
Yeah, Garrison Keillor.
Charlie Rose. Al Franken.
And then even making fun of our own John Besh, who got caught up in all of this as well. Oh my, who's next? As we said, you can't not look at the back of these floats. All right, this is Mount Carmel. This is the rhythm and dance team from Mount Carmel.
Located on the lakefront at Robert E. Lee.
And it was interesting to note, too, that 98% of the girls who graduate from Mount Carmel are awarded some type of merit scholarships. That's a good school.
It is.
That's cute.
Always comes to mind when I was a kid. I guess I lived about a mile or two away from Mount Carmel, and my dog ran away, and he was located at Mount Carmel in the schoolyard. The girls were feeding him their sandwiches.
Oh.
So he had the best, like one of our neighbors was a student there. So he had the best of all these worlds. He had all these girls taking care of him and feeding their lunch.
That's a great story. All right, the Dictator's Honor Guard. Look at these costumes, how beautiful these are. This is another signature float for Crew d'Etat. And this is how the dictator pays tribute to those who give the last full measure of devotion to the dictator and his revolution.
Very nice.
So it's an honor to get to ride on this float.
Wouldn't you think, though, that the honor guard would be located next to the dictator?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe puts him back just to sort of keep the rest of the guys in line.
Maybe give them their own space. Their own space. It's a pretty float, though.
It is, and
really, really nice.
Again, love those skeleton teeth. All hail the dictator. Ooh, and they are throwing. That's a beautiful float. All right, more of our riding lieutenants and their colorful costumes.
Well, you know, I'm realizing a new dynamic here in Carnival, because with the new parade routes, with the parades taking a ride on Canal Street, so once they get on Canal Street, they're almost finished now. And so I think what's going to happen increasingly is riders, once they get to Gallier Hall, realizing, you know, we're getting close to the end of the route, and so they're going to start unloading more around here.
And you'll see, though, a lot more people at the unloading area lined up. Like instead of where they used to be on Canal, they've kind of moved down there. So you notice that, people will still throw until the last second. All right, this is Bel Air High School. And this band also hails from Baton Rouge. Looking very Tiger-esque there. And this is their, I believe it's their second year marching in Coup d'etat. Drum corps. All right, this is very iconic. We all should recognize the scream. Edvard Munch's The Scream, and this is representing supposedly existential terror. But for New Orleans, our terror is the out-of-control crime, and that's how they're depicting the scream of this float.
Well, it's crime and other stuff like hiring freeze and things like that. And
yeah, not just the crime. Yeah.
But yes, a great figure.
There's the police chief there.
With his consent decree.
Oh, look at the back of the float's open there.
That's something to scream at right there. If the captain would see that.
That's something you don't see all the time. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, this is Royal Artists. This is the company that's been designing this.
I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the little king cake baby with the Donald Trump head there. I think they're making a statement. Do you?
A man named Herbert Jenke used to run. He died a few years ago, and so God, maybe we'll see him. He's on the float. I don't know if you got him. Richard
Valady. Yeah. He's always got the fedora on.
Yeah.
His trademark. But they do a great job. And here's another prime example. This is coin toss. And this is referencing the Sunday Evening Post. And that iconic painting by Norman Rockwell. And this is all about the guys taking taking the knee, excuse me.
Yeah, the controversy.
The controversy over the football players.
Colin Kaepernick.
Started with Colin, yeah.
And then how other people reacted to it.
Remember Trump saying, "Fire those guys"? Yeah, those SOBs.
Yeah.
And Colin's not real happy there, is he?
Maybe a semi-pro team will hire me.
All right, the Sirens of New Orleans. This is a neat dance group. They, these ladies got together and decided, hey, we just want to dance. So they got together, said, we're going to do this, but we want to dance and do more. So we want to shimmy and shake during carnival season, but we're going to spend the rest of the year improving the health and wellness of women and children in the New Orleans community. So obviously they're out there doing a lot of charitable work and having a good time at Carnival too. You can't ask for anything better.
This is one of the great new innovations in Carnival. These sort of groups, I don't know what to call them. You can't call them marching groups. You can't call them walking groups. I guess you call them dancing groups.
Dancing groups,
even though not all of them dance, some do walk. Whatever they are, I like them. I think it's really, really good. And just look at the people that it brings in who are doing this, who might not be able to afford to do it on a float or have the time to do it, but yet they participate and they're doing something at the street level. It's really great. I love seeing this going on.
And they really bring the crowd in.
You know, we were talking a while ago about my being caricatured on the float. However unfavorable I might have looked, I guess we should acknowledge somebody else who was on the float this week, which is that you were the goddess of mix. And quite beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I was a wet goddess by the time I got to Gallier Hall here, but it was a blast. And that's a big group. Look at how many sirens. That's a testament to how many women want to be a part of Carnival in any way they can, and being on that street level is a wonderful way to do it. So this is the Garden of Earthly Delights.
And it's really a spoof of the Jazz Fest. But pretty much prices at the Jazz Fest with parking and the different items.
Right, and they're talking about this garden, the green in this garden being money. And
you see a character of Quint Davis on the side.
And there's Quint Davis just counting all the money.
And people want the big acts at the Jazz Fest, but they cost money, so.
Oh, no.
2052, Lady Gaga.
That's cute. Somehow I have a feeling that Lady Gaga won't look like that in 2052.
She was at the Jazz Fest a couple of years ago with Tony Bennett. And
that's right.
It didn't. I think they'd done an album together.
And more riding lieutenants, and again, this is just, not everybody likes to be on a float. People like to be near the crowds like this, and these guys are traditionally the ones that do hand out and the doubloons, and people still want doubloons. Boy, there are people that collect them, and I was surprised the other night hearing how many people still wanted doubloons that whole parade route. And these guys are probably handing them out the entire route tonight.
I think they're less inclined to scramble for them. They're not going to get in a fight on the streets for them, but if they get them, they like them. And if it's a nice doubloon, it's a nice keepsake.
All right, we have a little bit of a break in the parade at this moment, so we'll go down to Carly McCord, who's on the street. Carly.
Thank you, Karen. I'm here with Lisa and Holly all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. What brings you guys to New Orleans and Mardi Gras?
The delicious food. My first time.
Oh, well, so it's your first time. So how has it been so far?
Awesome.
Okay, so we don't like Falcons fans typically here in New Orleans. So are you... Okay, well, good. You say that again on the mic.
We don't like the Falcons.
All right, say who dat, baby. Who dat? There we go. We're going to keep them here, I think. Thank you guys for coming down. Y'all enjoy the rest of your stay.
Happy Mardi Gras!
Oh, thanks, ladies. You are honorary members of Crew d'Etat tonight, to say that.
Absolutely. So the Saints went 1-1 against the Falcons this year.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, thanks, ladies. That was great. All right, this is Medusa, and this is Kathy Griffin on the front there. Medusa was doing something wrong and got the snakes for hair for her efforts, and now they've got Kathy Griffin on there.
It's also a spoof of all of the, I think, the talking heads and all the network talking heads.
Yep. And now they're starting to move a little fast here. This is the Summer Rhythms float, and this is a take on the famous Jackson Pollock painting. And here the wild winds of hurricanes and Bob Breck.
Yeah,
Let's
Bob
check
Breck.
Viper, yeah.
A rare Bob Brecker. Bob Breck.
So they're getting a really good mix of things in there. There's the Ramblers, their perennial Crew d'Etat act, and here we have, this is the Andy Warhol, the whole soup can thing that he made famous, and now we've got all these Trump characters and all of these folks in the national media. You're canned, he says.
Well, it's like somebody pushed the throttle and the parade just speeded up all of a sudden.
Those were 15 Minutes of Shame was actually the title of that float. And this is the DAT Band. Oh, the Last Supper. And you see, this is depicts the
monument
famous Da
controversy.
Vinci painting, but yeah, all those statues that are no longer here having their Last Supper.
I love that Robert E. Lee had a can of Dixie beer, and there's the mayor and
Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungus are there along for the meal, they said. Holy cow, that moved so fast we couldn't even. That was ridiculous. I was trying to find my.
And then after this parade, there's one more. There's still Morpheus coming down the route. It's always interesting when you get to this weekend before Mardi Gras. And it's so pervasive. It dominates everything. And then next Friday, think back about tonight. It would seem like a distant memory. You know, I always think of it like a big balloon, like a blood balloon, and it gets to its peak, that it can't go any further, and then it explodes and it's gone. And it's back again a year later.
And you have to plan. If you're a business down here, if you're trying to get down here, you're trying to, I mean, it's
They said that Carly said that was float 18, was it? So how many more? Because I don't see anything down the street. 26 floats total. Gotcha. Thank you.
okay. Well, 24. The dog float is the last one. So something's obviously happened here, but yeah, we got the royal 1, 2, 3. So the Royal Navy float is not here. This is, okay. Okay, I want to see who it is though, because they're out of order. So I want to make sure it's, let me know if you see, if you can see that it's the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Charter School Marching Band. Supposed to be next is the Royal Navy. Errol!
Okay, guys, we are back on. Woo-hoo! So coming up next, we got the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Charter School Marching Band. They are going to be joining us, and it looks like they are having a whole lot of fun.
Where are we?
All right, this is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Charter School Marching Band. This school, of course, from New Orleans on Caffin Avenue. The school offers pre-K through 12th grade, and this is their first year marching with Crew d'Etat.
There's been a lot of turnover in schools as the Orleans school system is readjusting itself, between charter schools and different school boards, but it's all coming down. But it's good to see these kind of bands coming together.
Right. There's obviously the dance team, and here is the band itself. It's a very big school. They have a very big group.
And a big sound, big brassy sound.
They got their cheerleaders out there too. All right, this is Float 20, Dr. Cassidy's anatomy lesson. And this is obviously referencing Obamacare and all those efforts to chop it to bits.
And he tried to really take the lead on that too. Being a doctor, I mean, one of several doctors in Congress who tried to take a lead. Kind of got shut down a little bit with Jimmy Kimball, but still at the forefront of it. And maybe one day it's going to be resolved.
They've got all the players there, and again, really good depictions of these guys. And there's your parting shot from that float. Oh, the Pink Slip Band, this fun little New Orleans band is a kind of a punk style, and they were formed in 2000 to play basically Mardi Gras. Here we are, American Gothic.
They picked up the theme.
Oh, there we are, the American Gothic. Tonight, the coup d'etat shows Ma and Pa up there. They're not tending their crops any longer, but rather attending rallies in echo chambers where their passions are stoked even higher. As you can see all that fire. Give him a wedgie. Okay.
Let's see what they have in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
The artwork is just priceless. Yeah. It's just very, very well done. All right. Mannequin.
This
Can
is
I
about
say it? Pies, Biff?
Yeah. This is a spoof for the sports broadcasters. Though this is Bobby A. Bear up front with a Dixie Bear. You see various sportscasters. Also the shows they do from the various places. Steve Gleason thing is going to always be something. There he is blocking an Atlanta Falcons punt. So
it's awesome. They have a kind of a tribute to him on the back of that float. And I'm thinking that this is actually, look at these guys. You know what? This was the dictator's Royal Navy, and they lost their float somehow. But look at these guys still parading. They didn't give up. They didn't go home. They may not have their throws, but they got their drinks.
They're still there.
And they're still there. Thanks, guys. We love the spirit.
And
There's a couple of throws.
And if somebody's waiting to pick them up at the end of the parade, the only way to get there is to walk and get there.
The Tulane Air Force ROTC drill team here now. All right, only a couple of more floats left in this parade. And if you haven't laughed, I think there's something wrong with you.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a break, but we can see the next float. We can see it this
They've cut in a lot of different ways. So
That's good news. That's very good. Just like the weather. I still can't believe I feel like you guys have been seeing this.
Here it comes. Moving a little slow. But this is dance class. We'll give you a little bit of info before it gets here. This spoof of an Edgar Degas work shows our alert legislature on the job, sparing patrons of gentlemen's clubs from having to see plump strippers. Yes, remember the age limit stripper bill?
Stripper, yeah, right. Yeah.
And then the representative who said he was joking when he said, well, you know, if we're going to do the age limit, we ought to do the weight limit too.
We'll talk about a joke that backfired too.
Yeah.
You probably regret that joke.
That got a lot. I think that got, you know, national press. It definitely did.
And since then, the whole strippers become another issue because of the some of the investigations that have gone on.
It just looks like Bourbon Street on a float, doesn't it? Sorta.
Mitch is playing up with murders, down with monuments.
There's more of me to love, says the big stripper.
By the way, as far as I can tell, the mayor is not here tonight. I've looked for him, and don't see him. He's probably well advised, maybe not being there. You have the parade marshal.
And Mayor-elect Cantrell was not here this evening either. She's probably still recovering from her ride in Muses.
I think if you're mayor, you learn to pick and choose your parades.
All right, and here is our final float. This is the dogs playing poker. You know, we've seen that painting in bar rooms and basements across the country for years, and this is their take on it.
This is Trump in his negotiations with Korea. Both of them playing poker, trying to, hoping that neither side will blink.
He's got the nuke in his mouth ready to go. And
I raise you 50 tons of plutonium. China's out.
And it's just clever, isn't it? It's cute. Know when to hold him. There's the Trump dog giving it his all. One last time there. And this signals just about the end of the parade here. We are going to take a break and thank our sponsors one more time. Then we'll come back to wrap this all up for you. Okay, we're going to take just a second to thank our wonderful sponsors who make this parade possible every year.
Bill and Ann Hughes. Bill and Ann Hughes have been the fans of Le Coup d'Etat since its inception. The whole Hughes family wishes all of our revelers a safe and happy Mardi Gras 2018. Minister of Solid Waste and his crew of revolutionaries. Just mentioned like this, and that is all. Frischhertz Electric. Frischhertz Electric began brightening NOLA in 1951 and is now 4 generations strong. As one of the largest electrical contractors in the city, the family-owned and operated team includes both commercial and residential teams who serve the greater New Orleans area and beyond. Over the years, Frischhertz has been trusted to illuminate everything from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome to the Crescent City Connection. But their work doesn't stop there. Big or small, they light it all. And as an authorized Generac dealer, Frischhertz brings dependable generator power to homes and offices throughout the metro area. Don't get left in the dark. Call Frischhertz today at 482-SERV. Find them at www.frischhertz.com or celebrate #Frischhertz Friday with them on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Frisch Hertz is proud to sponsor La Creu d'Etat and would like to wish everyone a safe and festive Mardi Gras. Frisch Hertz, built on family, powered by team, trusted since 1951. Schoenberg keeps you close to those you care about most. Savor life at a Schoenberg community. Life is meant to be lived well, and we make sure that our residents live theirs to the absolute fullest. Our highly trained, passionate staff provides an unsurpassed level of compassionate care, but our stellar resident satisfaction rates are achieved through an amazing quality of life found at a Schoenberg community. Laissez le bateau rouler is the motto, and we make sure that the good times are always rolling at our communities. From exciting social and recreational activities like Mardi Gras balls and crawfish boils to the customized wellness plans and complimentary laundry and housekeeping services offered, we go above and beyond to ensure that our residents are living the good life each and every day. Life is worth celebrating at a Schoenberg community nearest you. Learn more about our beautiful communities in New Orleans, Mandeville, Slidell, Luling, and Homa by visiting SchoenbergCare.com today. And by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, the Spine Institute. The Spine Institute offers comprehensive evaluation and treatment programs for spinal injuries and disorders. Our board-certified and fellowship-trained physicians work directly with patients to develop individualized treatment options and approaches. Through this direct focus, we produce better patient outcomes, minimize risks, and speed recoveries. For more information, please contact our office at 225-924-2424 or visit our website at www.brortho.com.
All right, that is the end of the parade, and once again, they killed it. This
Absolutely.
crew killed it. What an awesome parade, and look at all the cool stuff we got.
Yeah, we got so much fun stuff. I mean, what parade can you go to and you catch a femur? Yes,
femur,
I caught a femur off of one of the floats. I'm going to take this home to my dog. He's going to be disappointed when he finds out it's plastic.
And I got this football. This is great. Like whenever I go to Drew Brees' house and toss the football around,
There you go.
I can bring this. I'll throw these blinkies, all right?
Yeah.
That Creu d'Etat is famous for its blinkies. One year I caught a blinky. I went home. I hung it to a doorknob. 3 weeks later, it was still blinking.
It was still
Matter of fact, it might still be blinking. These things last.
Yeah, they've been known for their gargoyles, and they had a little bit smaller ones, the rubber ones. These are bigger this year. They're bigger and badder and bolder. Also got this blinky shot glass.
There you go.
I lost the beads, but I got the most important thing, the shot glass. Got a pillow to go home and rest after this crazy parade tonight and dream about next year, because you know that these guys are already starting to think about next year. They work so hard all year long to come up with this theme and visualize it on these floats and with these throws, and pretty soon they're going to start the process all over again, and we can expect an incredible parade next year as well.
The other thing is that they have to think in the distance, but
Right.
they also have to think at the last minute, because being they do satire, sometimes maybe something will happen like 2 weeks before that they need to go and change. And so they have to approach this from both sides.
Right.
You know that they're going to be creative. They do such a fine job here. And you were talking about the gargoyles. The kids were going crazy over these down
know,
there.
those are
These are
awesome.
just so awesome. And they really, you can just expect even bigger and better throws next year.
Absolutely. We thank you for joining us on behalf of the entire crew of Creu d'Etat. We will be back here next year. Hope you enjoyed the parade. Happy Mardi Gras, everyone. See you next year.